Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Collision, December 2nd, 2023. Kevin, Nigel, Tony, all on commentary, and we started off with the Continental Classic for the Blue League. Claudio Castagnoli versus Brody King. Two meaty men fighting and battling and testing the feats of strength with one another. I didn't know how this match was going to go, because we all know Claudio's a really tough SOB. So is Brody King. But man, this was a good match. I mean, we got to see Claudio swing Brody. There were just some great shots and hits and stuff like that just made me go, oh my God, between these two. It was a good way to start the show off, but Brody King got the win. I was like, okay. All right, points to Brody. I like this. He's one of my favorites for this, next to Roosh and Swerve to win this whole thing. So I think I said it on the last podcast when we're talking about this Continental Classic, but Brody King beat Claudio. Fucking awesome, man. John Moxley promo. So, he's like, I'm sick of being depressed. I'm sick of this. I'm John Moxley. Rah, rah, rah. And, he's got a big match coming up this Wednesday for Dynamite. We have an interesting match with Kiera Hogan and Abaddon. The match is okay. I like Kiera Hogan. Like, I think she can be a star. She had one hell of a street fight against Athena. And, I think she would do really well in the main roster for AEW. But Abaddon got the win. Best part was lights go out. Julia Hart looking beautiful and fabulous and spooky as ever. And now we have a storyline going on between Abaddon and Julia Hart, and possibly for the TBS Championship. Who's going to out-spooky the other? That's going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. Samoa Joe's backstage, got an interview. He's like, they're like, I know you're not happy that MJF said, hey, we're going to do this tag team match. And before he really says anything, he's interrupted by Roderick Strong and the Kingdom. And Roderick Strong's like, hey, man, so Adam, you're Adam's friend. So technically, by default, you're my friend, too. So, what I'm telling you, it's a trap. It's a ruse. MJF is the devil. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. And you're not listening. You need to listen to this, and Samoa Joe doesn't really want anything to do with it. And he's like, yeah. And Roderick, Adam, Continental Classic Blue League, another match. Daniel Garcia versus Andrade El Idolo. Oh my gosh, this was a good match too. I'm becoming more of a fan of Daniel Garcia. I think this kid has a lot of potential. And Daddy Magic's on commentary. The dancing too. I've always loved the dancing, but I think after this, they just need to repackage him, into something else. Because I know Daniel Garcia has the chops to be a major star in AEW. And Daddy Magic sees it too. It's Daddy Magic, man. Willie Mack backstage calls out Wardlow because Wardlow destroyed AR Fox. Destroyed him. Willie Mack's not happy. Willie Mack's like, yo, you hurt my friend, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to put my hands on you. Then we have Roderick. Cuts a promo before this match, the Iron Savages versus the Kingdom, and the Kingdom gets the win. Then Lexi's with Ethan Page backstage, and he calls out Kenny Omega, and next Saturday on Collision, they will face each other, and I was like, ooh, who's going to win it? Because Ethan Page has not been seen for a bit, ever since he tried to go for the championship, and he did not win, but he's calling out Kenny Omega. Mercedes backstage, almost not Mercedes and Willow package, building their rivalry and their feud and stuff like that. Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal versus the House of Black, fun tag team match. House of Black for the win though. Lights go out, FTR's here, and we get into a fight, but Alistair kicked both their heads in and left them there, left their corpse there. Tony Storm cuts a great promo. on Sky Blue, because that's who she'll face for her AEW Women's Championship this week. Sky Blue cuts a promo, and, you know, Tony's like, your ass is always on X and Instagram, you know. And then she's like, yeah, my ass is more popular than you, you know. I was just like, oh, this is a little feisty. Kip Sabian versus Vikingo. This was fun. You know, Vikingo for the win. I had a lot of fun with this match. Christian Cage and Adam Copeland package. They got a huge one this week. Huge match for the TNT Championship. Sorry, got him backwards sometimes. Keith Lee's backstage. He's talking about, you know, who you calling now? And Shane Taylor's like, I damn know who you calling now. Now, so me and you, Ring of Honor, final battle. The last pay-per-view of the year for Ring of Honor is going to be Shane Taylor versus Keith Lee. We get some CJ and Miro backstage. I don't give a shit. But she just basically tells him, just don't touch my client. Cochino. Continental Classic Blue League, Bryan Danielson, One Eye Dragon versus Eddie Kingston. Ooh, man. This was a damn good match. I mean, out of all the matches, I got to say Claudio and Brody King is my favorite. But this goes second, and third would be Daniel Garcia and Andrade. Bryan really brings it to Eddie, and man, them chops were oh, just so brutal and everything like that. And then Eddie got the loss, and, you know, Eddie and Bryan's like, I don't want the depressed Eddie. I don't want that. I want the Eddie that's gonna fucking go. You know, and I feel a few times like that the eye patch was getting in the way of Bryan, because there's a few times he's had to adjust it as he was wrestling and stuff. But one hell of a match, one hell of a collision. I'm really enjoying this Continental Classic more than I thought I would. You know, now I'm actually like paying attention to the points, so it got my attention. But my three favorites now are Brody King, Swerve, and Rush. I want one of those three to go all the way with this thing. I don't want to see Daniel Bryan. I know he'll deliver some great matches, but I don't want to see him win this whole thing, you know. So, all right, y'all. Tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. I give this a solid 5 out of 5 for a collision. It was you know, from top to bottom, some great wrestling matches. And tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share it, grab a show, the bum down at Walmart. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast and get yourself that sweet nWp logo created by Penta X. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Last week you accepted your
I have no time for these prepared questions. I am in haste. Firstly, where is that man that usually does my interviews? He has so much more poise.